Hi everyone! In today's video, I'll be breaking down a mock interview with one of my students and sharing some key takeaways at the end. Tell us about yourself and what brought you to us.
Sure. So my name is Anastasia. Nice to meet you. I'm real glad to be here. I will tell you just a few words about myself, about my experience. So I have about 10 years working experience in aviation in the supply chain. And I'm not only organizing the supply chain from the moment of the bid till the receipt of some incoming controls, some non-conformities at the incoming control in the factory, but also I am optimizing some parts, separate parts of the whole supply chain process. So currently, I'm working on two civil aircraft programs. The first one is Superjet, and the second one is MS-21. And so I have always been working on the civil programs. So just to have understanding of project that I'm following, I will give you two examples. So the first big project that I led was connected with the spare parts. So I have optimized the spare parts process and stocking for Superjet, and that was an amazing project because in the result I have saved about 3 million dollars per aircraft in terms of the spare parts for this for the program.
Okay, what's wrong? Lack of specific information on the key factors behind process optimization in the project. Why it's wrong? Vague answers can make your experience sound generic, causing the interviewer to ask follow-up questions. How to do it right? When discussing your projects, focus on specific aspects, but keep it concise. Your answer about yourself should take no longer than 2 minutes.
So another big example of the project that I led, that was a project associated with the customization of the aircraft for the top one Russian airlines, which is Aeroflot. Probably you know it. So that was a big project, and together with the cross-functional team, we have firstly developed demand for 50 aircrafts, and after that we have satisfied this demand, and as a result we have gained about $5 billion revenue for my company. So that was really amazing experience for me.
What's wrong? Not clearly stating your main achievements, instead just giving examples of large projects. Why it's wrong? This approach can confuse the listener. How to do it right? Clearly state that you'll discuss your most important achievements and listen them if you have several.
So recently, for the last 2 years, I'm working with metallurgical plants. And I'm making some small projects of in-house consulting because I'm still working on the side of the customer. I'm ordering the parts, metallurgical semi-finished products, but actually I need to implement some different things in order to get these products on time. So actually, this is one of the reasons why I've come here, because the work that I'm making, the project that I'm making, these small in-house consulting jobs, they're really amazing. So I like to do it, and I would like to continue doing it.
What's wrong? Motivation for working in consulting was only mentioned at the end of a long paragraph. What's wrong? Without stating the main point upfront, the interviewer may lose track. How to do it right? Start with I have a few reasons for wanting to work in consulting, but my main one is, and so on.
So I have also graded from, just two words about my education. So I have graduated from two universities. The first university is GIMO, and I have finished it with a financial grade. And the second one is Moscow Aviation Institute, where I have received my engineering grade. I'm engineer for aircraft design.
What's wrong? Education details connected to work experience were mentioned at the end. Why it's wrong? For a logical flow, start with your education if it's closely related to your work experience. How to do it right? Begin with education and link it logically to your first job.
So I think this is all about my story about myself. So if you have any questions, you can ask. I will uh, give you some more feedback in more details.
What's wrong? Not addressing all parts of the interviewer's questions. Why it's wrong? It shows poor listening, which is essential in teamwork and consulting. How to do it right? Listen carefully and, if needed, jot down key points to ensure you address all questions. Actually, as I said before, also I want to know what brought you to us today.
There are several reasons why I would like to switch from industry to consulting. So the first one is the fact that in consulting, actually consulting is the unique gives a unique possibility to work not only in different professions but also in different functionalities. So and like this, you will develop yourself not only in depth but also in width. And this answers my willingness to be like a big specialist in all fields. So, secondly, consulting is known for people that are working there that they are concentrated on their professional and personal growth. And when you're working in this atmosphere, in this vibe, you are developing yourself quicker. And finally, I think that consulting is the best place for me because I understand that I can bring additional value and I can use all the skills that I have been developing during my professional career exactly in BCG. What's wrong? Citing accumulated experience is a reason for wanting to work in consulting. Why it's wrong? Gained experience can be applied in any industry. How to do it right? Mention specific motivations unique to consulting, like working on diverse industry projects. Um, Also, why I have picked up BCG. First of all, if we speak about the region, why I would like to go in the Middle East. So, apart that this is consulting, it is known that the market in Middle East is really glowing. And if we compare it with different other regions like United States or Europe, we know that there are much more possibilities in the Middle East than in other regions. What's wrong? No specific reason why there are more opportunities in the Middle East. Why it's wrong? Without specifics, your answer would apply anywhere. How to do it right? Explain why you see more opportunities in the Middle East, like the state program Saudi Vision 2030. So this is the first reason, and the second reason is culture and language. So I know the culture and I know Arabic, and I think thanks to this, I will bring also additional value, and because the connection between people is really important, and negotiation is really important and valuable by the clients. Finally, why BCG? So it is known that BCG always helped people, companies, entrepreneurs, everyone to like reimagine their reality. And this sustainable growth towards new solutions have always opened new possibilities for the professional growth. Secondly, I know that BCG always helped and encouraged when people that are working there can say out loud what they're thinking. So it is better to discuss everything out loud together and not be like shy, not to say something that you think about. And this also, I think, gives in the end really good results. What's wrong? No personal motivation mentioned for wanting to work at BCG. Why it's wrong? Lacking personal motivation may suggest you are not genuinely interested. How to do it right? After mentioning BCG's unique traits, connect this to your own career goals. And finally, BCG have always supported people, and there's a big culture in BCG that is known all over the world. What's wrong? Skipping the question, what brought you to us? Why it's wrong? The company wants to know your potential contribution. How to do it right? When asked about yourself, explain why they should hire you, mentioning your interest in both consulting and the specific company. Okay, and what's about you actually? Why we should choose you? Sure. So why me? So first of all, I possess entrepreneurship skills, and I really try to find the best the best solution using all available sources of information, of people that can help, of some processes. So as a result, we can have a quick result and of good quality. And always, I really admire moving forward when we have a lot of problems, a lot of issues, and I'm not afraid of taking decisions. I think that really brings additional value, especially in consulting.
What's wrong? No example of qualities that would benefit the company. Why it's wrong? The interviewer needs to know how you'd use these traits. How to do it right. Mention 3 key traits for consulting with a brief example of how you have applied each.
Okay. Could you tell us about a situation where you convince someone who was making a decision about implementing your project?
Sure. I have a story. When I was persuading the head of the legal department in my company, in the moment when our company was under the pressure of the export regulations and under sanctions. So as a result, I have convinced the head of the legal department and saved for my company about $10 million. So do you want to listen this story in more details?
Yeah.
Okay, so when I was working in my company, there was a moment when export control regulations of the United States started to change, and there were a lot of sanctions that prevented us from communicating with our American suppliers. And we were in really active phase of development, and every minute of non-communicating, that was losing money for us. So I have understood that at that moment I shall study thoroughly all documents and try to find the way out how we can keep on going and communicating with our suppliers. So I have studied all the documents and I have found a way how we can interpret in another ways the new regulations that have been written there, because there were some tricky things um, with the aircraft, with the technical specification of the aircraft, under which we was not that aircraft. So I have contacted my suppliers. I have convinced the expert manager in the United States, and we have decided to sign an end use certificate. That was like not a really big important document for us, for my company, but it was a big document for the American side. And when I have launched this document into internal system for consideration, I have received a firm rejection from the legal department without any explanation. So I understood once again that I shall do something really very quickly. And I have done two things. First of all, I went to my colleagues and my friends in the legal department asking what's wrong, why we have received this rejection. Um, and secondly, I have decided that I shall go directly to the head of the legal department, which is like CO -2, to ask him what's wrong, what the issue, what risk maybe he sees in this situation. So after conversation with the head of the legal department, I understood that the main issue was that the head of the legal department was not participated in communication with our American suppliers while like discussing these export issues, which is really very tricky thing. And I have proposed to make like reconsideration to renegotiate all the points of this approach with American team. But this time, our head of legal department will be the person that takes the decision. And in case he sees like a small risk, he can say no, and that's going to be the end of the story. So when we have organized this meeting, so we have rediscussed everything, and finally, the head of legal department said firm yes, and that's the happy end actually. So we have signed the end use certificate. We kept on going communication with our American suppliers, and I have saved about $10 million for my company because the development went ongoing. And for my future like profession, for my growth, I have made a conclusion for myself that for all decisions that I'm taking. First of all, I shall identify all people, all like parties that are in or may be interested in this decision. and invite them into discussion for the further projects. So that's, I think, a good conclusion that I made. I'm not making this kind of mistakes.
What's wrong? Story lacks mention of new skills gained or improved. Why it's wrong? Interviewers want to see growth and continuous learning. How to do it right? In addition to lessons learned, mention any new skills gained or improved.
Okay, I see. Pretty good story. But you told me about your additional, maybe incremental experience out of this story. But also, I want to know what incremental, maybe skills you brought from this story.
Sure, I understood the question. So, communicating with this level of people is always not easy, like CO minus two. And when you communicate and when you have received a rejection, as it was in my case, first of all, you have to listen carefully, and you need really to understand the reason of what was the exact reason of the rejection. So, maybe your partner will say you that there are too many risks and it's not possible just to take this decision, and that's the end of the story. But your goal, well, my goal actually was to understand exactly why the person that told me no has decided to say no. So this is important, and you can take it out this answer only by like patiently communicating, asking questions, and not giving like any emotions that you are disappointed that you have received a rejection for the approach that is going to save the company for a couple of months probably, in terms of your project, in terms of your suppliers. So this is important, I think.
Okay, I see. So, tell me about your most significant achievement.
Yes. So I have had a big project in my career that I'm really proud of, and it was really very interesting. So I led a cross-functional team during customization of aircraft for top one Russian airlines, which is Aeroflot. So together with the cross-functional team, we have developed a plan how to satisfy all the needs. There were a lot of needs of Aeroflot, and finally, we have satisfied Aeroflot. They were completely satisfied, and we have signed the um, the contract firm order actually for 50 aircraft, total amounting to $5 billion. And $5 billion was a revenue for my company, which was, I think, a great result.
What's wrong? Project description doesn't explain why it's your main achievement. Why it's wrong? The interviewer needs to understand its importance. How to do it right? Highlight what made the project challenging and significant for you.
Mm-hmm. So, actually, why do you think that this project is your most significant achievement?
What's wrong? No comparison with our projects. Why it's wrong? Without comparisons, the uniqueness isn't clear. How to do it right? Explain why this project stands out from your other work.
Well, first of all, because there are two reasons. First of all, of the how difficult it was, how it was difficult to organize so many people that are interested in their own goals. And secondly, because of the result, because I think $5 billion is a good result for the company. And a part of the financial result, we have like valuable result in terms of our brand, because we have sold five 50 aircrafts.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I see. Our case today is the following. The client is a metal ore miner. He wants to increase the volume of metal ore lifted from his mine. How can you help him?
Thank you very much for the case. I think it's really very interesting. I think we can omit the prompt because there are no questions. I just would like to ask some clarifying questions if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so first of all, so this is metal ore mine. Can you please tell me a little bit more in details about the process, how it's working?
The mining process looks like this. There are two levels in the mine. At each level, mine carts are loaded and then they transport metal ore to the beginning of the level.
Okay, so the client would like to increase the volume of the ore. Do you understand how big he would like to increase this parameter? Do we know the exact number?
The client wants to increase the percentage in the volume of metal ore lifted from his mine per day more than 8%.
More than 8% per day?
Yeah.
And when we're speaking about the volume, we speak about the weight. Yes? About the weight? Yeah. Okay. I think my last question here is going to be whether is why this actually desire has appeared. So was there any change? So before it was everything was okay with the volume, and now suddenly the client understands that we are decreasing and he would like to increase it, or it's just the desire to develop his production capacities.
He wants to sell more. Pretty
Okay.
simple reason.
Okay, understood. So I will take a couple of minutes to structure myself, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so 10 specific ways to increase the volume of ore. I recommend to break it down into two blocks. The first are financial ways of increasing this parameter, and the second one is non-financial.
What's wrong? No answer to the core case question of how to increase metal ore output. Why it's wrong? Your answer only explores options, not the best solution. How to do it right? Start with a two-part approach, exploring options and choosing the best one.
So if we speak about financial possibilities to increase the volume, so we can first buy new equipment. Secondly, we can repair equipment that we have in case it's not working because of the breakage.
What's wrong? Didn't mention the total number of items in a list. Why it's wrong? Lists are clearer when listeners know their item count. How to do it right? Say, for example, I have 5 ways to increase ore output.
Third, we can increase capacity per equipment. Third, we can increase speed of the equipment when they are going from point A to point B, or when they are lifting it to the upper level. And by doing this, we are going to decrease timing. 5, we can increase utilization rate. So we will put in the cages, equipment, I'm not sure how it is called in English.
What's wrong? Forget a specific term from the case introduction. Why it's wrong? Forgetting case details shows inattention. How to do it right? Listen closely and take notes on key points.
These things where the ore is transported. So we can how?
Mine carts.
So we can increase the utilization rate and probably like put a bigger quantity of ore in this cart. Next, we can implement automatization of the process, which will give us effect in speed, and like this we will have the bigger volume at the end. Next one here, we can drill more, so we will extract more of ore, and like this at the end we can also have probably more volume. And finally, in the financial parameters here, we can replace some parts of the vehicles of the equipment in order to increase their productivity. For example, to change the engine, so it's with the bigger power, and the productivity is going to grow here. So these are financial initiatives in order to increase the volume. If we're speaking about non-financial here, so we can speak about two factors. First one, organizational. So this gives us no need in investment, which can be really very desirable because we can change either time of the shifts, or for example, if we have now 2 shifts, we can make it like 3 shifts. And this is really very quick. And secondly, we can decrease the number of holidays, and like this we're going to increase the working hours of the people, of the equipment, and at the end we will have the bigger volume of ore at the end.
What's wrong? Wrong section names used in the case structure. Why it's wrong? The non-financial initiative section names initiatives that imply the allocation of additional funds. For example, increasing the operating time of machines and equipment. How to do it right? Structure your response with accurate terms based on business stages. For example, highlight 3 stages. First, optimization at the loading stage. Here you can suggest increasing the volume of loaded minecarts and or increasing the percentage of minecart volume utilization. Second, optimization at the transportation stage. Here you can consider reducing the distance that minecarts need to travel to reach the surface and or increasing the speed of one minecart. Third, optimization at the unloading stage. Here you can suggest increasing the volume of unloading per hour and or increasing the number of hours of unloading.
So these are my initiatives here.
Okay. I think maybe we need to think about 2 additional initiatives.
Okay. Just give me 2 minutes more.
Okay.
What's wrong? The candidate specified exactly how much time they needed to think. Why it's wrong? Some interviewers may hold you to your state time as a test of responsibility. How to do it right? Use general phrases like "could I have a moment?" rather than a specific time to avoid pressure.
I have 2 more reasons. Not reasons, but actually initiatives how we can increase. So first one, we can upgrade technical levels of our people that are working, probably by teaching them. They will do some things quicker, and like this will have an effect on the volume at the end.
What exactly they can do quicker?
For example, we have the principles of lean production, which shortens the time of the production and of mining too. When we speak about this, we think about the following things: whether the small equipment that we need to have when we drill something, or when we cut it, or when we do something, whether these equipments are close to us, so we do not need to go to really very far away to take it, and like this we will not lose our working time, working hours. Or maybe the technology that our workers are using currently, it can be improved, and this new improved technology will be shortened, and the whole process of the stage is going to be quicker, and we will have the increase in volume at the end.
Okay. And what else?
The else is just to have a benchmark, so we can speak with our client, understand. So if he thinks that he would like to increase the volume by 8%, he has it not just from his mind. So I mean, probably he saw that on other production unity and production unit, and so just to deep dive in it and benchmark the best practices, how do they organize their process, and try to take it and implement on our mine.
Okay, I see. Let's calculate how much the volume of metal ore raised to the surface if we took the following 2 initiatives at level 2. First, reduce downtime by 30 minutes by implementing interruption monitoring. Second, reduce maintenance interruptions by an hour by switching to new mine carts with higher capacity.
And the question, we need to understand the effect, actually, the increase in the volume of ore, right?
Yeah.
Okay, can I ask for some additional information?
Okay.
Okay, so if we go back to the breakdown of the whole volume, we need to understand the following parameters.
What's wrong? Asked for values without first explaining the approach. Why it's wrong? Asking for data without context can lead to missed points and unclear questions. How to do it right? First, share your approach, get confirmation, and then request data.
Actually, a lot of parameters. Can I ask for a lot of parameters?
You can.
Okay, then if you don't mind, I would like to make an approach after I will validate it and ask for the questions. I will take a couple of minutes, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so in this case, my general formula is going to be the following. The quantity of production units multiplied by the quantity of working hours per year and multiplied by output per hour. Do you think it's logical?
What's wrong? Firstly, the candidate forgot the period for which the indicator needs to be calculated. And how to improve that, I said earlier. Secondly, approach for calculations was too high level. Why it's wrong? High level approaches lack specific indicators. How to do it right? Break down your approach into detailed levels to show clear path.
Let's consider only one day.
Okay.
And I want to hear from you more details.
Okay. So if we're considering one day, so here we will need to have a quantity of production units. If we speak about the timing, so one day it's 24 hours. Do I understand correctly that
What's wrong? Didn't fully explain approach. Started asking for specific indicators. Why it's wrong? Without detailed structure, your logic may not be clear. How to do it right? Start with a formula that breaks down each component of the calculation.
I need to understand here the timing of the shift, how many shifts we have, and timing of the shift, and when we and I'm going to take out of there the timing for the breakage. And when I speak about the breakage, I need to understand, well, generally it can be organizational or technical. So you told me about several parts of different kinds of breakages. So were you speaking about the technical or organizational? Or we can just omit some organization and we will concentrate only on technical breakages.
Actually, I told you about all kinds of breaks. Standard working hours, 10 hours per day. We have three kinds of breaks. First one is lunch breaks, second one is technical breaks, and last but not least, downtime.
Okay, do we have output information about output per hour?
Not exactly, but we have another kind of information.
Capacity.
Yeah, if you ask.
Yes, I do ask.
What exactly do you want to know?
Is it capacity per equipment? I'm sorry or is capacity like general capacity of volume of the ore that is being taken out of the mine?
Actually, we know minecart capacity, one minecart capacity, and it is 1 100 tons.
Okay. And if we go back to the first multiple, so about the quantity of these cards, do we have the number?
On which level?
So as we're interested in the total volume on the surface, I think that we need it on the both levels.
On the second level, it is 15. On the first level, it is 20.
So the bottleneck here is going to be the second level. Okay. So if we speak about the brakes, we have 3 types. And with this initiative that was implemented, it's going to decrease by 30 minutes per day. Do we have the total number of minutes for break?
Not total, but we have a number of breaks, I mean hours for each kind of breaks. We have a 1 hour. For technical break, we have a 2 hour. And downtime is 2 hour as well. And this is for level 2.
Level 2. So I suppose we have also some breaks for the first level.
Yeah.
Can you please share this information?
Yeah, sure. For the first level, we have 1 hour for each kind of break.
So now when I have, I think, all information that I need.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Note, as I mentioned earlier, without a validated, detailed approach to the calculation, the candidate can't be certain they have all the necessary data.
Okay, give me a minute to think it over.
Okay.
We have the total number of cards that are working. Do I understand correctly that all the cards are working? Nothing is under repair.
Yeah.
Okay.
But in order to calculate total tons of ore transported to the surface, what else should we know?
Utilization rate?
Yeah, that's right. But not only that.
Give me one minute, please.
Okay.
Probably there's an issue with the timing for transportation from the second level to the first level and from the first level to the top to the surface, because we are calculating the total volume on the surface, if I understood correctly. So what is the timing? How many cycles per day of this transportation from the bottom level to the surface?
What do we need to know in order to calculate the number of cycles per day?
Number of cycles per day. So I would better start from number of cycles per one card.
Okay.
In order to calculate it, I need to understand the distance.
Mm-hmm.
And speed.
Yeah. For which level?
Let's start from the second level.
Okay. On the second level, the distance that one mine cart must travel is 15 kilometers. On first level, it is 10 kilometers. And as for speed, we have 2 kilometers per hour for each mine car on the first level and 20% lower speed on the second level for one mine car.
Okay, understood. So now I think I have all needed information.
I still don't think so.
Okay.
You have mentioned utilization, yeah?
Yes, utilization rate. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you didn't get this
The
information.
number, yes, you're right.
Yeah, actually, on the level 2, we have 85% in terms of utilization rate for one.
Mm-hmm.
And for level 1, it is 80%.
80%. Okay. Probably now we have everything.
Okay, let's calculate the total tons of ore transport per day, but consider that we are talking about average amount. So we need to know that one cart can make more than one cycle, but less than 2 per day, because if we talk about average per day, it could be 1 point something. Yeah, and if we calculate the whole year, it will be round number here. So what will be your approach here to calculate this?
So, first of all, we need to calculate as is the volume of ore that is transported at the top level. And after we will calculate to be in order to understand the effect. If we speak about as is approach, so in this case, we need to multiply the number of cards by no, in order to calculate yes, we need to multiply the number of cards by the output, average output per card, and multiply it by the utilization rate.
Okay.
So in this case, we will have the output per like general output of 20 cards of the number of cards per hour. The same approach for the second level will be, but in order to have the total volume that we're taking from the level on the surface, we also need to consider distance and speed. So when we divide distance by the speed, we will have the number of hours that is needed to take ore from the level to the surface.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And after that, the number that we have got on the first action, the average production capacity per hour, we will multiply by the number of hours
Mm-hmm.
per cycle.
Okay.
Like this, we will have as is numbers per each level.
Okay.
Okay, so give me some minutes to calculate. So we will have 320.
Yeah.
And after that, we are going to multiply it by 5.
5? Why 5?
Because because it is production capacity per hour, and it takes us 5 hours Okay, so production capacity for first level per 1 hour is 320.
Yeah.
For 20 cards.
Yeah.
For 1 hour. We know that it takes 5 hours. 5
Yeah.
hours.
But we work 7 hours.
Okay. Yes, we work 7 hours. I'm really very sorry. Then we multiply it by 7 because our hours are 10 hours minus 3 hours breakage. We have 7 hours. So 320 we multiply by 7. And we have 2,240.
Yeah, that's correct. What
This is
about second level?
one more question. When we speak about the second level, do you understand correctly that the card shall take the distance of the second level plus the distance of the first level?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Understood. So I will recalculate it. Okay, so we have 15 cards. We shall multiply it by brackets. 1, we divide by 15.625 and multiply it by 85.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Sounds logical.
Yeah, the same as we have on the first level. The same logic. Yeah.
Okay, so if we divide 1 per 15.625, that's going to be about...
What's wrong? The candidate planned to round off the calculations without asking the interviewer if that was okay. Why it's wrong? Rounding is possible, but interviewers often prefer exact numbers to check your calculation skills. How to do it right? Before rounding, always ask the interviewer if approximate numbers are acceptable.
We need exact number.
Okay. That's going to be 0.64.
0.064.
0.64. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
After that, we multiply 15.
Mm-hmm.
Multiply 15 by this number and by 85, which is production capacity.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine we also need the exact numbers, right?
Yeah.
Okay. According to my calculations, production capacity per 1 hour for the second level is 81.6.
Yeah, that's right.
81.6. Now we shall multiply it by the number of working days, working hours. So 10 hours per day, and we have 5 hours. 5 hours of time for breakage for breaks. So we multiply it by 5, and here we have 408 for the second level.
Yeah, that's right.
We have the total number of ore that we take in the version as is 2,288 and 48. 2248.
No. Why?
Because in the first level we had 2,240.
Yeah.
And on the second we have 408.
Yeah. So
we have 2,648.
yes. Yes. Now it is correct. Okay. So, as I have mentioned before, we have two initiatives. One of them brings us decrease in technical breaks by 30 minutes, and the other gives us decrease in downtime by 1 hour. Because we buy new mine cards with a capacity.
And this is applicable only to the second level.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so like this, our first level is going to be unchanged, thanks to the and the second level shall be changed slightly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if we reduce the downtime by 30 minutes, so that means that working hours are going to be 5 hours 30 minutes.
5 hours, 30 minutes
Because
on the second level.
so now we have 5 hours, and if we totally reduce the time by 30 minutes, so that means that the breaking time is not 5 hours but 4 hours 30.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Okay. Also we have the decrease in maintenance time by 1 hour to new cards with higher capacity
Mm-hmm.
by 1 hour. So does it mean that it will take us
Maybe you can just ask me about
capacity?
increasing capacity. Yeah, that's right.
Can you please give me information?
10% increase in capacity we have here. 10%.
10%. So we had 85. Now we will have 95.
No, I mean 10% increase in total capacity.
Okay. Understood. So we have 81.6 production capacity per 1 hour for the second level. If we, after implementation of this initiative, we increased it by 10%, that means that we will add to this number 10%. And finally, it will give us about 89, 76.
Yes.
Okay. And now this number we shall multiply by 5.5 because our breakage time has decreased, and like this, our working time has increased by 30 minutes.
Why 5.5?
Because before we had 5 hours.
Yeah.
We had initiative that reduced the downtime time by 30 minutes.
Yeah, and?
That means that if before we had the downtime 5 hours, now it's 4.30.
Not only downtime. We reduce our technical breaks by 30 minutes and reduce our downtime by 1 hour.
I'm sorry. So we shall multiply it by 6.5.
Yeah, that's
by
right.
6.5. Shall we also have the exact numbers?
Yeah.
Okay. So after implementation of these initiatives, we will have the increase in production, and the total number for the second level is going to be 583.44.
Yeah, that's correct.
So like this, the total volume after implementation of all initiatives is going to be 2,823.44.
Yeah. So
so the goal of our client was the increase by 8%. At first glance, we are okay, but I think we shall better like recalculate it.
yeah,
But I think
let's round down second number to 2,823.
okay. So roughly we have increased the volume by about 20%.
Why? No,
Roughly. um,
too roughly.
okay, but yes, it's 20%.
Again, we have new total tons of ore transported,
Mhm.
and it is 2,823. And we have old total tons of ore transported, and it is 2,648. Yes?
Yes, but I circled a different number. I'm really very, very sorry.
I see.
It was the first rule of Evgeny Logachev: circle right numbers.
Yes, she's absolutely right. During calculations, it's helpful to circle key results so you can quickly find them if needed.
Okay, so yes, we needed about 8%. It's about 200. 210, and that means that we have reached the goal of our client.
We have
Reached the goal of our client.
no. What delta do we have? Yeah.
Okay, so we have 2823 and minus 2648. This gives us 175.
Yeah, that's right. So
That's a little bit less
yeah,
that is needed.
yeah. So what additional initiatives could we implement or take into consideration in order to increase the total tons of ore transported?
So here, as we have already spent some money of our client, and we didn't receive the exact effect that he was looking for, I recommend to concentrate on some organizational changes.
What's wrong? The candidate didn't ask for time to think before brainstorming. Why it's wrong? Thinking on the fly can make it harder to come up with strong ideas. How to do it right? Politely ask the interviewer for time to brainstorm. Most interviewers are willing to give it unless they are pressed for time.
And for example, change the numbers and the length of shifts.
What's wrong? The candidate suggested multiply improvement options without focusing on their potential impact. Why it's wrong? It's important to prioritize and discuss the options that will have the greatest effect to show efficiency. How to do it right? Start with options that can be changed and have a major impact on the outcome. For example, increasing utilization rate for one minecart.
Let's say that we cannot do anything here. What else?
Okay, we can do anything here. Okay, then give me just a couple of minutes. So here, I think we can consider 3 more additional initiatives. The first one, according to the regulations, there are fixed speed. The speed shall be fixed in the mine, and if we go deeper and look, probably we can increase a little bit the speed of our carts, and like this, we're going to improve the volume, the number of the quantity of ore that we take to the surface. But
Okay.
here we shall look closely on the regulations. Secondly, we can think about the utilization rate. So we see that here utilization rate is not till 100%, and probably we can drill more our ore so that the utilization rate is increased a little bit, as we need just a slight increase more in order to get the goal of our client. So here, speaking about the utilization rate, we also need just a slight increase. So probably by making some slight changes, we can also get the needed effect.
Mhm.
And the third initiative here is use the best practice. All the equipment, well, probably they are remotely controlled by people. So probably we can change something slightly in the process, and like this, we will have this slight increase of the production of the of the volume that is taken to the surface.
Mhm. Okay, let's say that we looked at minecart utilization on the second level and take some measures in order to optimize the utilization rate on the first level and make it the same as we have on the second level.
So we have utilization rate about 90% on both levels, 89.76.
No, actually on the second level we have 85%.
85 years. Mm-hmm.
But contrary, on the first level we
It's
have
80.
only 80. Yes.
Okay. So we have made on both 85.
Yeah.
Well, I think even without calculation, that will probably give us the right numbers, and we will achieve the goal of our client. But if it is needed, we will calculate exact numbers.
Yeah. Let's go.
Sure. Okay. Okay. So the approach, I think, is already agreed. So everything is the same except for the numbers for the utilization rate.
Mm-hmm.
For the second, so do I understand correctly that the second number for the second level stays unchanged?
Yeah.
Yes, we only, okay, understood. Then give me 2 minutes. Okay, so on the first level, we have the volume that we get to the surface is going to be 2,380.
Mm-hmm.
And if we add it to the number of, to the quantity of ore that we're taking from the second level, which is 583.44,
Mm-hmm.
so we'll have about uh, 2,963.
Yeah. Okay. Let's round up to this number.
So this number satisfies the goal of our client. So we have even increased more than by 8%.
It will be closer to 12% or 11.
Closer to 11.
No, it will be 11.9
Okay.
actually. Okay, so let's talk about risks. I want you to name 3 main risks, and after that, move on to recommendation.
Okay. If you're okay, I will take a minute to structure my risks. Okay, so I see here 3 main operational risks because we have thought about some initiatives that are going to be implemented into the operational process, and that's why all these kind of risks I consider are the most important. So the first risk that we have is start of receiving the effect after the implementation of initiatives is not going to be immediate.
Mm-hmm.
So probably there are going to be any, I don't know, any problems or any issues with the whole process. So in order to hedge this risk, I recommend to study make the benchmarking, because probably this is something that is implemented on many similar production plants. So we shall study the benchmark.
What's wrong? The candidate mentioned risks without specifics about the case. Why it's wrong? Work risks don't add value and can be mitigated without clarity on what's at stake. How to do it right? Be specific to the case. For example, point out that replacing old mine cards with new ones may cause delays that impact the desired ore output.
Secondly, the second operational risk is breakage of the cards. As we are increasing the utilization rate, before doing this, in order to hedge this risk, we need to thoroughly check the state, like the general state of our cards, where they need any additional technical maintenance, or we shall change something in order to be just short of cards, generally speaking. And finally, the final operational risk that I would like to highlight here is the following. So we decrease the timing for technical breaks by 30 minutes. Here, the tricky thing can be that the quality of this maintenance can also go down. And in order to hedge this risk, also I recommend to make the benchmarking and also to audit before implementing this initiative, audit carefully and thoroughly all the equipment, their statement, whether it is possible, and they are not like general equipment is not utilized by almost 90 or 100%, so that this decrease in technical maintenance is not going to have any bad effect on the result.
Okay, let's go to recommendation.
Okay. Finally. Just give me one short minute, okay?
Okay.
Dear client, so we have thoroughly studied your case and came to the following conclusion. We can increase the volume of the ore that is taken to the surface by more than 11%, but with the following conditions. So currently your volume is 2,660 and 48 tons. In order to increase it, we need to decrease the downtime of just the downtime on the second level, as well as increase the capacity of cards on both levels.
What's wrong? The candidate incorrectly named the implemented initiatives. Why it's wrong? The case proposes to implement the following initiatives. First, at level 2, reduce downtime by 30 minutes by implementing interruption monitoring, and reduce maintenance interruptions per hour by switching to new minecarts with high capacity. Second, at level 1, increase card utilization rate to 85% by optimizing the loading processes. Second, at level 1, increase card utilization rate to 85% by optimizing the loading process. How to do it right? Circle key initiatives and numbers to ensure the correctness of the recommendations.
By implementing these initiatives, we are going to have the total volume about 2,823 tons, which is going to be about 11% increase.
What's wrong? The candidate used incorrect numbers in the recommendation. Why it's wrong? Correct data is essential to accurately present project results. The correct numbers are: first, the total new volume of metal ore raised to the surface per day is 2,963. Second, percentage increase in volume of metal ore lifted to the surface per day, 11.9%. How to do it right? Circle key numbers to ensure the correctness of the recommendations, as I have said before.
With implementation of these initiatives, we shall be careful with the operational risk that we see here. The first risk, which is important, is the start of getting the effect after implementation. The second one is possible breakage of the cards. And the third one is quality of technical maintenance. In order to hedge all these risks, because they are operational, we recommend to make a thorough and detailed audit of all equipment and cards, and also to start carefully the benchmark of the similar production capacities that are in your region. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
What's wrong? The candidate didn't mention the next steps for the client. Why it's wrong? Defining next steps shows a clear roadmap for implementing initiatives. How to do it right? Propose steps such as securing funding for new equipment, creating a seamless implementation plan, and assigning experts to interruption monitoring. Let's summarize the main points. In the fit interview, there were 3 key mistakes. First, the question about motivation for attending the interview wasn't directly answered. Second, the motivation for working in consulting wasn't specific enough. Third, there weren't enough examples showing valuable consulting traits. As for the business case, 3 main mistakes stood out as well. First, the initial structure didn't fully address the main question. Second, the approach to calculations wasn't well developed. Third, incorrect data was included in the final recommendation. If you'd like more videos on acing case interviews and building a successful career, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. See you next time!